I used to be a high school teacher. Here's the single biggest reason why I decided that I couldn't be a teacher anymore.
Listen, child, they say the teachers are quitting like crazy. I don't know what's going on. And I think maybe I have my classroom is different. And I do see some of the problems that some of the teachers are saying, but it's not enough to make me quit my job. So, but I wonder what's going on in these other classrooms. We can't be losing teachers. We need to start keeping these teachers the way we keep our doctors and the sport. Honey, the fact that we play sports players and movie stars more than we pay doctors and teachers. So we need to start doing our teachers better. Help them, help them. And I got some that'll help you teach your children to do this. Stop, think, and breathe, and make the right choice. Teach your parents to do that. Stop, think, and breathe, and make the right choice. I believe that'll work. Listen, first I wanted to show y'all this chart of the generations. Now, the greatest generation, that's the early years where they were inventing stuff and inventing cars and light bulbs and all of that stuff. Then the silent generation, they was just living. The baby boomers, hmm and Generation X, that's me. We were the generation that we were, the new thinkers. We had different ways of doing things, but we still used to go outside and play, and our parents still used to spank us and whoop us and then play with us. Then the millennials, we felt like our parents was a little soft on them. Then, here come Generation Z. Look at them. And that's when I started teaching during Generation Z. And so I've taught Generation Z, Generation Alpha, and now I'm teaching Generation Beta. And probably by the time Generation Beta is over, I'll be ready to retire. But yes, but a lot of teachers, and I think that might be why a lot of teachers are quitting and leaving, because they started teaching in these other generations. And I know some teachers who were teaching in 1980s, and they are still teaching now, and they've seen the change. It's a long time, y'all.
Absolutely astonishing and scary how your kids are 14, 15 years old and still do not have the proper reading skills.
Yeah, yes. You can tell the difference in parents who value reading. And it's almost, it used to be parents who read with their kids at home and parents who don't read with their kids at home. Now it's parents who value reading and parents who don't value reading or education. You can tell the difference.
Reason why I decided that I couldn't be a teacher anymore. There is no accountability in schools. There's no accountability for students. There's no
Lane.
accountability for teachers, and there's no accountability for parents. Students can pretty much do whatever they want. They got the freedom to be late to class every single day. They can roam around the hallways every single day and not go to class. They cannot do their assignments. They can be disruptive, and there's no repercussions. There's no accountability. And the worst part is it's not really even the student's fault. You can't really blame them because the system is not holding them accountable. Now, there are some schools that have great administration and they're trying super hard and they're doing many things to improve the system and to make it better, but most schools, there is no accountability going on. I think you would be shocked if you were to go into school and see what was happening. And if you try to talk to parents, there's a very select few that actually help with it, but the vast majority, they either don't know what to do,
I can't say that's
or
the
they're just
truth for
completely
me.
helpless and they enable it. And there's so many bad teachers that shouldn't be teaching, but
Because most of my parents, they stick with me. Most of when I call them parents, they know they don't normally hear from Mr. Demby. And normally when they do hear from me, it's good news. But when I call them and tell them something ain't right, most of my parents support me.
there's nobody that's holding them accountable or doing anything about it. And this is coming from a teacher that had great classroom management. Yes, I had some disruptive kids that were hard to keep them focused, and that's normal. But the vast majority of the issues that I experienced was because there's no accountability. There's nothing you can do. You can try to hold students accountable, and they're shocked by it because they're not used to it. That's just one of the reasons why I left. And I think this.
To me, the thing is, I always tell people that you can do the funnest activity. It can be, if you a teacher and you got the funnest activity to do, if kids can do whatever they want with no consequences, or the funnest activity that they want to do, that the teacher want them to do, they always going to choose doing whatever they want with no consequences. And that's how you end up with schools like that, where there's no accountability. And that's how you end up with teachers leaving. And if you just do what? Stop, think, and breathe, and make the right choice and the right choice. Honey, y'all start holding them children accountable. Listen, that's one thing I tell most of my kids, if you don't learn nothing else from me, you're going to learn to do what is right.
This message is for the parents who don't know what's going on in the classroom, as it relates to kids not being able to interact with what their teachers are trying to engage them with. There is this thing that teachers are talking about that has to do with, let me just give you an example. Okay, so I'm standing in front of the classroom and I say, all right, guys, students, scholars, whatever it is the teacher calls your kids, take out your yellow notebooks, turn to page 14, and the kids just stare. Like they don't even move.
They do that all the time.
Some of them don't even move. Some of them start moving around. It's like, no, I'm supposed to be doing something because she's still staring at me. But
you got to keep saying it over and over and over. Say,
do you want us to take out our notebooks? That's a real question. Yes. Okay, so then some of the other students start taking out their notebooks while the others are still just staring. And then when they take out their notebooks, someone else says, what page? What page do you want us to turn to? Okay, turn to page 17. So then some of them start taking out their notebooks and turning pages. By now, some of the ones who are still staring are now like trying to reach in to take their notebooks out.
Yeah, now they have me teaching music and art. But that is the reason I hate teaching art, because the children, you could give them step one and say, is everybody finished with step one? Everybody, yep. Now let's go to step two. We go and you doing it. Everybody finished with step two? Yep. Step three. Now let's get ready for step three. Is everybody finished with step three? Here comes somebody hand up. What we supposed to be doing? So you sat there that whole time that I was talking about step 1, 2, and 3. You sat there the whole time and wasn't doing none of the steps. I can't. And I be getting mad. I get so mad when it like this. I say, fold your paper. Fold it in half. Like this. Like this. Like this. My kids know. Stop saying like this. You look at my paper. If you look at mine and see if yours look like mine, stop asking. You smart enough. That's. But what she said, you could say, pull out your back. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do that. By the time you get to step 4, somebody gonna raise their hand. What was step 1? Girl, so you didn't hear me say none of that. Now, for real.